What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to CC Media, where it's all about Nintendo. So I did an initial reaction to the Breath of the Wild sequel trailer at E3, but besides that I haven't done much content about the game, which is especially odd considering this is one of my most anticipated video game releases ever. I love Breath of the Wild, I love all the Zelda games, and I'm so excited for the Breath of the Wild sequel, and I went crazy when it was announced. So today I'm here to discuss my 5 biggest hopes for Breath of the Wild 2 on the Nintendo Switch, I assume. It's gonna be on the Switch, right? Anyways, I'm going to be covering the game even more in future videos with things like theories and predictions, but for now, here are my 5 biggest hopes for the game based on what we know so far. Now keep in mind this list is sort of in order of importance, but honestly, all the different things on this list are such important things that really it's not in order at all, so just kind of keep that in mind. Anyways, on to number 5. Number 5, a new world to explore, even if it's the same Hyrule. One of the things I love most about Zelda games is exploring new versions of classic locations from the series. For example, I love diving into Zora's domain from Ocarina of Time with its cave-like structure, then comparing it to that of Breath of the Wild, which is more open, like a palace of sorts. On the flip side, I also love exploring entirely new regions and constructs. The Zonai tribe of Breath of the Wild, for example, is fascinating to me. Who were the Zonai? What was their role before the Calamity? What more information is there that hasn't been discovered but is hiding somewhere in Hyrule regarding this mysterious tribe? Questions like these keep me invested in Zelda's rich, complex lore. So given all this, I want the next Zelda game to have just as much to unfold and discover as past titles. Many people are saying it should take place in the same Hyrule because the game would be much quicker to make for that reason. But I think this could take away from the magic if it's not done correctly. I'd be fine with it as long as it were significantly different than before. Perhaps the game could take place in the past and we can visit places like the Castle Market before the Calamity. Or maybe it takes place in the future after the world has slowly been rebuilt from Ganon's destruction. However they go about doing this, I just want new places to explore and discover. Even if the base structure of the world is the same, because I do understand how long it took them to create it for Breath of the Wild, I think there's a lot they could do with what's already here to still keep it fresh. Number 4, character development. From what we saw in the trailer, it looks like Link and Zelda are together for at least some portion of the game, potentially even all of it. If that's the case, I want the two of them to grow and change throughout the story. I want them to face conflict both with the world around them and with each other. Here's the thing, where Breath of the Wild succeeded in its larger scale of avenging Hyrule after its destruction, I want Breath of the Wild 2 to be more intimate with how it tells its story. Allow Zelda and Link to grow, bond, break apart, lose trust, reunite. Give their characters personalities and purpose. Not saying they didn't have purpose before, but I think this story has the potential to dive deeper into these characters emotionally than ever before. And another important part of this equation is the villain, which leads me to number 3, a twisted and complex villain. Breath of the Wild had Calamity Ganon, a towering force of evil strong enough to demolish entire cities with its army. Similarly to what I was saying about Zelda and Link, I want the villain of Breath of the Wild 2 to be living and breathing and, like Zelda and Link, have motivations and flaws. Ganondorf, assuming that's who this guy is, needs to feel grounded, smart, manipulative. I recently experienced the ending of Wind Waker once again and was reminded of the emotional power Ganondorf possesses in that game. He has a reason for his actions, which made his rage toward the hero and Zelda more believable. And that's not just for Wind Waker too. Ganondorf has kind of always felt like there might be something under the surface that we don't quite see. Perhaps more backstory or motivation to really drive his actions. This antagonist has the opportunity to be way more emotionally involved in our hero's journey than ever before, and that idea excites me so much. Number 2, improved and unique dungeons. Taking a break from story for a second, I want to talk about dungeons, as that's one of the most important key ingredients in the Legend of Zelda formula. Now, Breath of the Wild broke the formula in a lot of ways, and honestly, I think 99% of the time it worked. That's part of what made the game so revolutionary and incredible, because it changed the formula so much. But all I'm saying is this, I am glad Breath of the Wild had shrines because its dungeons certainly didn't live up to the ones from past Zelda games. They were fine, but they lacked the individuality to stand apart from each other. Zelda dungeons not only need to come with an interesting gameplay gimmick and some smart puzzles, but they need to reflect the story and the world in some way. In Ocarina of Time, your childhood consisted of 3 nature-made dungeons, Jabu Jabu's Belly, Deku Tree, and Dodongo's Cavern. But when Link becomes an adult, the dungeons are no longer these natural, colorful places. Instead, they're man-made temples that are deserted and infested, signifying the bleak world of Link's adulthood and the childhood he was forced to leave behind. I want the dungeons of Breath of the Wild 2 to be similar in how they tell the story. Give them each their own unique, important structure and design. So improved, unique, original, awesome dungeons? Yes, please. Number 1, an incredible story. I really don't need to say much here because frankly, so much of what I've already talked about relates back to this. I want a Zelda story like no other, a story that truly digs deep not only into its world, but also into the characters that occupy it. Okay, picture this. Instead of Ganondorf taking Zelda and Link being forced to rescue her, imagine if the call to action was more than that. What if Ganondorf makes them choose between their world or each other? Honestly, I don't even know what I mean by that. I just want something really cool in the story that makes you go, whoa! That makes you feel like you're just watching a Shyamalan movie or something that just had a crazy twist or turn. Honestly, whatever they do, this game is going to be awesome, and I am so excited. So there you have it, my biggest hopes for Breath of the Wild 2. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and stay tuned to CC Media for more unique and fun Nintendo-related content just like this. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. For example, I love diving into Dora's domain.